I'm trying to be childlike. So this year has been a year of trying something new to get funding for different nonprofit projects. We've tried grant applications for the first time. Only got one little one so far, but that is a win. I think this is something building towards the future of doing documentary film work for the nonprofit sphere and people that really need it. Good stories that need to be told, that need to be funded, and we're trying to get creative here. So you cannot run a business this way with about 30% of your efforts or more, 40, sometimes 50, going in a direction that isn't funded.
Like, if you want the life that you envision in your head, you have to actually build it, right? Your life will not be the same in the sense that you may not go back to your previous patterns. You may try something different. You may believe that you can do something different to get the life that you actually want. But I think life does seem a lot more optimistic, hopeful that you can achieve what you need, what you want.
We've had to sow these seeds to try and build something for the future. It's taking some time, taking some toll. It is not sustainable. I'm making an effort to make a change here. So maybe I just needed to learn this lesson for myself. I've known and I've been told for years, Pareto principle, follow that at the most for what you're giving 10 to 20% of your time towards pro bono, philanthropy, that kind of work. It's not sustainable beyond that. I allowed myself to get a little bit unbalanced this year. However, that said, I have learned to say no a little bit, and maybe I needed to learn this for myself. I got a little bit complacent in 2023, 2022, 2021. I had great work coming in. FenVet was my first client, our first client that was ever month to month return for 2 full years. And that was easy to maintain. Everything else just coming in, that kept us steady. I wasn't out searching and hunting for work. I wasn't as hungry as I needed to be. That is a life lesson that I've learned in this, is that need to keep that pipeline full and business speak, blah, 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 business. But as an artist, I need to learn this. And I'm more artistically minded or heart driven than is healthy at sometimes. But learning, one volunteer thing that I will keep on hand is Deciduous. It's research based and with partnerships with however many we can, different emergency shelters in Calgary to help unhoused young adults that are aging out of the foster care system have the supports that they need, housing, education, life skills, and some entrepreneurial skills training. This is one of the things that I do, that I volunteer for, that I will continue to do. And Britt, are you completely out of the business? Is it that bad? No, we've done about 23 jobs this year that are 23 jobs, 23 clients, some return, some repeating, that are profitable and sustainable. It's just trying to not overextend. So yeah, there's been a lot of good ones this year. The workshops have been really good this year. Had about 10 people through, which is more than I could say for 2023. This has been a good venture, and I'm going to put a lot more efforts into doing workshops, helping businesses, organizations create compelling connections through video by helping them map out a shot list, first a script, and make something themselves or hire someone like myself or otherwise. With that, here's a list of 21 things that I learned in 2024. Some maybe relearned or had just ground into me in a fresh way. Number 1, there's so much that I do not know. Number 2 has to do with AI. This is not something that I saw coming, but we've learned a lot with it this year. So our pre-production process, even how we're guided in production and post, has been transformed. Number 3, I am my own worst critic, as are probably you. My jaw will drop at other people's work. I'll be so impressed by the likes of Chris Doy and people like that here in Airdrie. Learning to not be my own worst critic and to see the strengths that I do have, that we do have as a team, Josh and I, and to implement those. and also realizing that, hey, we can collaborate. It just means that I have to hustle and, you know what, work more with people that I'm aligned with and that I've been gunning to do more work with. And that's in the construction sphere, small towns, medical, nonprofits, things like that. There's plenty of those to serve, and there's lots of work to go around. In that same line of thinking, I've learned that when one door closes, another opens. There's been a lot less work with Superform this year. However, if I didn't have the time-lapse camera that I got 2 years ago, there'd be no work at all with them. There's been Build It that has come on board in the last 6 months, and it's been amazing to work with them. And it's cool to see what can be with them. Sweet team, good to get along with. Yeah, one door closes, another opens. Something else I've learned, I think this is point number 6, I'm more of a nerd than I realized. I got into reading fiction this year. I wish I'd been reading fiction more since high school. It's also been really healthy for me to read a book before going to bed. It's a good practice. That's something I've learned this year. I'm a nerd and I can enjoy reading a book before bed. Speaking of being more of a nerd, I am more into pre-production and post-production, working through scripts than I thought I would be, and I'm finding that that's a bit of a strong suit that we can offer. We can help you with the stuff before and after the shoot, while also trying to learn to get better at doing it ourselves. The 8th thing I've learned this year is planting seeds is important to me. I had a conversation with my accountant in 2023 where he said, so are you just planting seeds? And part of me was really pissed off. And I'm like, yeah, of course I'm planting seeds. That's part of the point of this. And I get that you're also like a little nudge there that like this isn't as profitable as it should be. I was pissed off. That was my best year yet. That segues into Pride Becomes Before the Fall. This year has not been as good as 2023, and I've had to learn to not get complacent and to work harder and be more persistent and not to give up on follow-ups and check-ins with people. We are still planting seeds. That is long-term work. It just has to be like balanced. The 10th thing that I've learned this year is that I really love documentary work. Like, really love it. 11th thing I've learned is that I really miss dogs and cats when I'm not working with them. FenVet, it was hard not working with you guys as much in the last year. It was good to work with you, Saving Grace, Parachute for Pets in November, and seeing the stuff that you're doing to help impact the community, the unhoused that need help with their pets. Really appreciate it. Glad that we could be a part of it. 12th thing that I've learned is that collaborating with people makes me feel alive. There's been Josh Kinez, Chris Doy, Drew Kenworthy, and others that we've collaborated with this year. It helps me feel so much more alive when we're working together. Thank you.
I'm just gonna get rid of it, and maybe that'll change my whole like being able to laugh at myself a little bit. But yeah, blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie fair. Last one to show, last one to know. I was the last one you thought you'd see there. There we go. Energy's a little bit different now.
Get it out there, yeah.
The 14th thing that I've learned this year is that I have a lot more people relying on me. And I've known this, like Josh, we've been collaborating for a couple of years, but I've felt it more letting you down lately, not getting more sales. I have people relying on me. 14th thing I've learned is that it's okay to ask for more. Now to keep applying that mentality and asking for more and growing projects to $50,000 and more. We've done $45,000 projects before. We can do that and more again. I've learned that I can push myself more artistically than I have. I've allowed myself to stagnate. So even right now, I'm pushing myself to try something a little bit different here. Why not? When AI is giving a better shot list than I can dream up, there's room for me to grow. Saying yes to a $500 budget and then being underperforming in the quality that I want to do is not serving anybody well. It's not making the bar move for anybody. Stop doing it, Britt. I've learned that this year. Number 17 is notice people and compliment them. That segues into number 18. There is a friend of mine who is no longer with us. So that's something I'm learning. Notice people. If you think they're having a hard time, don't just take they're doing good as the answer that is the truth. Be okay with asking some more questions and just being quiet with them for a bit. I've also learned that I want to be more generous, and I can't do that when I'm not making enough, not charging enough, and my mouth is cashing checks that I cannot support. I'm also so proud of my boys and that they're funny and smart, and this is my 21st thing, but it is my second chin up. And I'm proud of my wife. I'm proud that we're able to do this thing, balance both our careers and the boys. You're not? Going back the way you came, Ari?
Hey, off you go. Oh no.
So much precious time that I have with them right now that is priceless. So much of business is more personal, and I've seen that in the last year, that the personal really matters. So hopefully that's coming through in this. Looking ahead, what do I want to see for 2025? I want us to take what we learned in pursuing our passions in 2024 and to balance that out with applying it with our passions for those that can pay.
Look at the mountains.
Oh, look at the mountain, but I'm not looking down.
When trying to think of a final thought here, one thing that came to mind, like the cliches really come to mind. If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. False. You'll work lots. You'll work maybe harder, but you'll love the work. Hope this encourages, inspires you a little bit to hit 2025 out of the park and enjoy the journey. I'm going to do my best to enjoy it too.
What? Send off. I just like to do like little reels.
Okay.
Thanks, Cliff. Have a
No
good night.
problem.
We finished. 68 Mustang in the books. Thanks.